I wonder if people on these demo rides ever just go batshit crazy and start passing people and riding up beside, or even just totally break off from the group. And I wonder what the leaders of these rides do if that happens. You know, it has to have happened somewhere. Hey y'all, it's the Jed. Look where I am. Roland Sands Design. This is kind of cool. Normally the Long Beach motorcycle show would be going on right now, but of course COVID put an end to that. So BMW brought the demo fleet out to Roland Sands. I'm going to demo an RT in a little bit. Check that out. The R18 Dragster. Pretty cool. And then just a bunch of random bikes. I don't know if these are bikes they're working on, or this is R&D, or what. What's your take, Kenny? What are
their bikes? They own these bikes.
Yeah.
And they all have a little bit of his touch to them,
The hooligan.
Morning, guys.
Howdy, how are you? I picked the RT thinking maybe they'd have the new 2021, but I guess this is a 2020. Is this a 2020? Oh, yeah, that's a pretty color, though. Look at that flake in the sun. I've never realized it had that paint on it. So that's a 719 edition, huh? Or is it, you call that an option 719?
Right.
Well, friends, we'll see how this goes.
You have any questions?
No, I don't think so. I've done demo rides with y'all before, so I think I got it.
Your riding modes are right on this side over here.
Gotcha.
Windscreen up and down here. The turn signals to the left, to the right. Push forward to cancel. Horns down here. And then the hazard button in the event that they need to pull the group over.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. Where are you guys? Are you guys local, or do y'all fly in for this?
We travel across the country with the 18-wheeler.
Gotcha. Well, this is kind of cool. I haven't been on an RT in forever. I got this set up in auto leveling, dynamic mode, blocking traffic for us. Wow, this, I gotta tell you, feels so strange after being on the GS this morning. I gotta get used to this. So I'm on an RT. I said that. There's Kenny on his RT. What's interesting to me is this front end of this bike feels huge, but it's clearly got a real short rake, and like it feels, how can I describe it? It feels like I'm sitting on top of the front wheel, even with this massive fairing and front end. I'll tell you, the clutch on this bike is really nice. You always have to be careful on these demo rides, because you got people who are on bikes that aren't theirs, some of whom probably don't ride a whole lot to begin with. Looks like that's a 850 GS next to me, Case 1600 GTL in front of me, the new R18 beside him. And I have no idea where we are. For reasons I can't explain, the engine in this bike just feels smoother than it does in the 1250GS to me. It's probably just having it behind all of the plastic on this bike probably isolates a little bit of the vibration and makes it a little quieter maybe. It's crazy how big this windshield is, or at least feels, after being on the GS. I can see why Kenny is always so comfortable on his bike. A lot of wind protection. Yeah, just a really responsive, very quick response on this bike compared to mine. Now, I guess it must be a little bit of the rake and also a much smaller front wheel. I think these are 17s, and it's, you know, a 19 on the GS. So that makes this a little snappier. There's Kenny. Kenny likes it on a RT, no doubt. He loves that bike. He really loves that bike. Almost every time we ride, Kenny talks about how impressed he is with that bike and how impressed he is with just the way BMW builds a bike generally in terms of performance and technology. And some will roll their eyes at this, but reliability too. You feel good on the bike. It's a solid, well-performing bike. On this RT, I'm also sitting closer to the front wheel, and the reach to these bars is nothing. I would be more than happy with this ride. I would not need risers on these bars at all. This is a perfect position, perfect posture for me. I've got no weight at all on my wrists. I'm sitting upright. Very comfortable bike. I could be comfortable on this for long stretches of highway, and certainly for spirited twisties as well. This bike really wants to upright itself. It's constantly asking to bring itself back upright when I'm leaned over. Now look at that cockpit. This is the 2020 model. You know by now that the 2021 is going to have a completely redesigned cockpit with a big TFT display that is going to incorporate GPS right on the TFT display, not turn by turn, but literal mapping GPS. I believe from a BMW app on your phone. You'll still need your phone, I believe, in order to enjoy the GPS, but it'll map right on the TFT display, which a lot of people are excited about. You can see a big square blank on this dash where the BMW Navigator 6 would go, right here. That is a Garmin product. Be interesting to see if I don't think they can phase those out as long as some of the bikes will take them. We lost Kenny at that red light. Many people talk about how dated this dash is. I don't find it dated. I think it looks fine. The TFT will be nice too, for sure. And they're putting me in all kinds of red lights. I would say there might be a buying opportunity when those new ones come out. These are going to take a hit, and it's the same bike. I mean, the front end is slightly redesigned. I guess the headlights are different as well in the 2021s. These do have halogen lights, which do look a bit dated. You can see Kenny's in my rearview mirror, actually. but they're certainly bright. You know, Kenny is behind me on many rides, and I never miss him back there. So if you're thinking about a RT, my guess is, particularly over the winter, there will be some pretty good deals to be had on these 2020s and the 2019 1250s. But of course, that 2021's a pretty bike, and I'm sure that would be nice too. I'm surprised at the seat height on this. I thought it was going to feel too high for me. It is wider than my seat, but I am flat-footed. This must be in the low position. We are turning on Pacific Coast Highway, lowering the windshield. This is a nice feature, of course. Got electrically adjustable windshield. I wish I knew where we are, but I really don't. I don't think I've ever been on this part of PCH, or if I have, it's been a long time. Those running lights on the R18 up there are nice and bright compared to really all the other bikes that are in front of me. That's nice. Okay, so when I first got on this, I could really notice the wheelbase being shorter, and to me that translated to twitchy. Now, having ridden it a few miles, I still feel that shorter wheelbase, but I wouldn't call this bike twitchy at all. It's actually really, really stable. As I said, it just wants to upright itself. It turns in very quickly, quicker than the GS, but it really wants to pull you back upright. It's a almost gyroscopic feel, if that makes sense. I'll have to talk to Kenny about it and get his take. It'll be interesting to see if he feels it at all. He may not, because he's been on an RT for so long and he doesn't typically ride other bikes. But I feel it, and it's a good feeling. The only thing I would say is it would take me a little getting used to in the twisties to just, I would feel like I'd have to push it into the turn a bit more. And I know that's contradictory, because I'm telling you it turns in faster, but it just feels like it wants to pull me back upright. That may sound totally crazy, and it may be totally crazy. You got to consider the source. Speaking of other bikes, and while we're at a red light with not a lot to look at, I got a secret. I bought a bike yesterday, and I'm not going to say what it is. I don't have it yet. I'm gonna pick it up during the week, but I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to show y'all. I will say it is not a BMW, and it is not a brand new bike. We'll leave it at that. There's a F900XR. Looks like it's been on its side, or at least scraped that fairing. Kenny's got his music at full blast. I don't know if you can hear that. I hope not, so I don't get a copyright claim when I post this. The guy who's demoing the R18 is wearing a Harley Davidson shirt. Interesting. The Jed Rides is a politics-free zone from now on. It pretty much always has been, but I will not talk about politics, and I will not talk about the election. So feel free to binge watch the Jed Rides if you need a break from all of that on television. Kenny said that's what he's gonna do. I wonder if people on these demo rides ever just go batshit crazy and start passing people and riding up beside, or even just totally break off from the group. And I wonder what the leaders of these rides do if that happens. You know, it has to have happened somewhere. Anytime you've got the general public, there is a certain percentage who are just batshit crazy. And I wonder how many times people wipe out on these demo rides, because that's got to happen too. I mean, they check your license and they make you, you know, sign waivers, and I guess sign that you'll be responsible if you drop the bike. Of course, I didn't read that before I signed it. But again, anytime you get the general public together, you're going to have all kinds of ability, and it's got to happen. Hate to talk about that. I don't want to jinx myself. It could happen to me. One thing riding this bike is making me contemplate is taking my bar risers off of my GS. I think I just got them too high. Really, I need them pulled back a little bit, but I don't need them raised. And the reason I need them adjusted a little bit is just if I'm too far stretched forward, I get a pain sort of behind my clavicle. And, wait, clavicle? Scapula. Behind my shoulder blade, whatever the heck that's called. And I don't get it on in this posture because I'm close enough to these bars even though they're low. And it would feel funny to raise these. I'm surprised Kenny raised his, and I gotta have to ask him about that too. To me, these feel great. A little bit on this display while we're looking. You got a temperature gauge, fuel gauge. There's your gear indicator. Oh, the guy on the RT just stalled it. And I halfway wonder if this front tire might be a little bit low. Oh, thank you.